Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family, where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mad Church Disease Channel. I am your humble host and servant, Marcellus McMillan. Thank you so very much for joining me for tonight's podcast. We are so very thankful that you are here with us. We've got some people that have started us off tonight with some support on the program. Thank you so much to my wonderful friend, longtime friend, Ann Brock. Thank you so very much. And I'm looking forward to getting even more rest. So thank you, Ann, for all of your support to the Mad Church Disease channel. So thank y'all so much. Let's go back. Well, of course, we want to thank Betty Yellick for being here with us on tonight. Lovely 31 Blueprint. Thank you for being here from Colorado. Let everybody, Alex Corbin, thank you so very much for coming here today as well. What's up, Gerald? What's up, Gerald? Good to see you here. Thank you so much for your wonderful service to the country, Gerald. Thank you so much. Mary, thank you so very much. Mary, when's your wedding date? Are you married already? I don't forgot. Dion, good to have you with us today. Cece, what's up, Cece? Good to have you here with us as well. Sherry 05, good to have you with us as well. Thank you so much for being here. Listen here, Jai, I tried to do my best. Listen. I tried to do my best. I tried to do what I could do. It's the beautiful I Am Courtney. Thank you so very much. I am Courtney Phillips. Thank you for being with me here. April is here with us. April is here with us. Thank you, April, for being here with us as well. Of course, one of my favorites and one of my most trusted moderators, Moni No Love, thank you so very much for being here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Shout out to all of you that are putting the purple hearts in the chat. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Shout out to all of the mods and all of you that are here in the chat. K Rich, thank you so very much. Well, I didn't want to, what happened to K Rich is coming. There we go. Just being me, thank you for being here as well. K Rich, y'all know I like to just say my hellos in the beginning. That's how I get down over here. Belinda, good to see you here, Belinda. God is agape love too. I didn't want to forget you. And y'all know how much I love me some Tasha Global. So what's up, Tasha? Good to have you here with us as well. Melanie Rice, Lori Coleman. And so good to have you here. Daryl Moore, April, Angel. I'm sorry, Angel. I was calling you April. Katrina, good to see you here as well. So I'm here. We are here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button because 25 people decided that they was going to thumbs down the video and I hadn't even said nothing. I love people because people be people, and yes, they do. I hadn't even said nothing and they had already hit the darn button. So thank y'all so much. It's so funny to me, but thank y'all so very much. So for those of you that did not know, let me just go ahead and let you know. I kind of took some days off because I was extremely tired. Just really tired. Like some days I will wake up and I just had no energy to do anything. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, y'all know, because I tell y'all that all the time. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to tell you what had happened. What had happened was, so the other night, when I told y'all I was going to relax, I was going to watch some movies, I got into a new series. And y'all know how you do when you get into a new series on one of these streaming platforms. You binge watch, right? So before I knew it, I up and could peek over my curtains, because I have those curtains that drown, takes away the sun. And I just so happened to look above the top of the curtain. I say, "Is that the sun coming up?" Look at my phone. It's 4 a.m. in the morning. I done watched this whole series, right? Sitting there in all the way to 4 o'clock in the morning. So then I'm like, "Oh my God, I gotta go to sleep. Like, I just can't be, I gotta get some rest." So I fall asleep. Now, when I fell asleep, I had a slight headache, just a little one. And I was like, okay. And I know the reason why I had that slight headache was because I was headed towards the morning. And normally during the morning, I try to have a little something for breakfast. So I was like, I said, okay, I got this little headache. This little headache it'll go away. I said, I just got to get something to eat. So then I woke up about 5 hours later. So I'm going to say it's probably like 10 or 11. So right before noon. And I wake up with a headache. When I say my head is hurting, my head is hurting. And I know in the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, okay, I need to have something for breakfast. Like, I know I got to have something to eat. So I try to get myself ready for the day, whatever. Get myself ready for the day, go downstairs, get something to eat. Headache just doesn't go away. And I said, oh man, this isn't good. So as the day progressed, the headache kind of started to go away. And so I was like, okay. I said, okay, I gotta, I'm good. And by the next day, the headache kind of fully went away, but I wasn't like, I wasn't at 100%. We'll just put it that way. And I could recognize with myself, I said, okay, I need to really get some sleep. And the funny thing, the next day, shout out to Gerald for putting in those purple hearts. I appreciate that, Gerald. Thank you. The next day I was like, okay. I said, I got to make sure that I go to sleep. So what I did was that particular night, I think I went to bed sometime around 10 o'clock. And so I rolled over, I turned off all the lights. So nothing was, there was no lights nowhere. I said, okay, I'm just going to go to sleep. And I went to sleep. That sleep was probably a good sleep because I hadn't had a really good sleep in a while. And so I said, okay, that's pretty good. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to rest and recover so that I can come back. And so, so let me just say that. So I appreciate every single one of you, those of you that love and appreciate this channel. Now, I have been gone for almost 4-5 days, which is, you guys know, that's not something I would normally do. So I do want to mention that those of you that support the channel and want to reach out to the Mad Church Disease channel and support us by Cash App, that information is on your screen. You'll see that information also in the in my name tag here. So if I can get at least 10 of you guys tonight to do at least $10, that would be very helpful to the Mad Church Disease channel, making sure that we're able to pay this $44 StreamYard bill. Because y'all know I didn't used to use StreamYard. I was using my own other stuff. And but a lot of people can function better with this StreamYard stuff. And so, Now, I do want to tell you guys some announcements and give you guys some announcements as well, because y'all know I like to do all of that stuff in the beginning. In the next several weeks, we're going to have several guests on our platform as well. I'm going to be making sure that I solidify that and getting those people booked for the program and making sure that we're able to get them on the program and here so that we can, interview those individuals. If they're controversial, they'll just be controversial. We'll be respectful. I trust you guys to be respectful to all of the guests when they are here, whether you disagree or agree. I just want you guys to know we're here for conversation, and I mean real conversation. We're not here for the surface level stuff that you can get other places. This is a platform that is known for having real, authentic conversations, and so we definitely want to, to stick to what we know and what we do here. For those of you that are new to this channel, understand something. I am not a church show. I talk about church-related issues, church news, church hot topics, church drama. I'm going to talk about your Paul Mortons, your Jamal Bryants, your TD Jakes, your Paula Whites, your Joyce Myers, you name it. If they're in the gospel ministry, 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear me talk about them over here. And it doesn't matter who they are. If they're claiming to be paper Bible saved and preachers of the gospel, I'm going to deal with them and we're going to talk about them. And it's not, this is what the channel is. So I'm not targeting anybody. I'm just having conversations. Okay. So that people can understand that. But shout out to those of you that support the show. And I really do. Uncle Fred says he's having problems with his internet connection. All right, Uncle Fred. All right, so that's good. All right, so I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I really do appreciate you guys for all of your help. Now, tonight, I'm gonna share some information with you that has not been shared on the internet as of yet. So this is going to be, well, it has been shared, but most people don't know where it's been shared. But I'm going to share it here, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to have us a conversation as it relates to some stuff that came across my desk. Now, before we do that tonight, I want you to understand something. This isn't something that just started here on this YouTube channel. For those of you that are unfamiliar, I don't know whether people know that I was on Blog Talk Radio and I have done radio spots in Atlanta. Believe it or not, I was on some radio station in Atlanta. I can't even remember what the name of it was. Los Angeles. I've been on radio stations in Florida, all across the country. So this didn't just start with this YouTube channel. Y'all need to understand something. I have been doing this type of work for about 14 years. So there are some times when, I get a little, sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, and sometimes I just need to take a break because, I just do. And it looks like this past week was one of those times because I was so tired. I didn't even know what was going on. And I do now try to listen to myself and listen to my body. If I'm tired, I'm tired, and I just rest. Okay. So that's just, it is what it is. And I thank you. Now, for those of you that still support the channel, I don't know about worldwide. I don't know about worldwide, although I do have some people in other countries that watch me, but I don't know about worldwide. But yes, so there's a lot of stuff going on as it relates to that. I'll put it to you like that. But I've been around for a long time, guys. This isn't new for me. I've watched YouTubers come and go. I've watched YouTubers flub stories, misrepresent stories, tell all kind of foolishness and stuff that just wasn't even true. I've had people send me videos this past week. I go over to watch the video. Videos just lying. And I'm like, well, how could somebody make a video, put this out on the internet, and you just lying? Now, I should be used to it by now because I've been doing this for so long, but I just don't understand why somebody would literally want to put out a video where the stuff you saying isn't true. That just baffles me still to this day. I don't even know how to describe it to you. It just baffles me. Simply as that. Now, tonight, listen, let me just say this, preface this. There may be times when you come over here and I might be talking about your pastor, your favorite preacher, your favorite individual. Understand something. You don't get to dictate what I get to talk about and who I get to talk about. I don't know what's been going on this here internet over the last several weeks, but people seem to be losing it or something. If you enjoy the commentary, I really appreciate it because I work hard on the commentary and I work hard on bringing you what I feel like is a show that is watchable, that is entertaining. I'm trying to, no, Jesus, it's not a new shirt. It's just, I pull it out of the closet. I have a lot of clothes I just don't wear, because when you at your house, you just wear what you wear at the house. And so y'all see me a lot of times with my Costco t-shirts on, because I'm at the house and I don't be trying to do nothing. But I felt like today, and I'm trying to get better with wearing, my clothes more when I come live. Because honestly, I got a big closet, and I got a lot of stuff that's up in that closet. So yeah, I could be wearing a lot of stuff, but I don't. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get better. I promise y'all, I'm gonna get better on that too, because I am working on the program. All right, so that's that. So don't let me look at these comments because I get thrown off. So just understand something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to entertain you, but I'm also trying to inform you. And I'm not your pastor. I'm not your preacher. I'm not your apostle. I'm none of those things. Listen to me very, very carefully. Jesus plus nothing equals everything. The only thing I could possibly give you over this here show is my relationship with Jesus and what Jesus has done for me. I realize I have all sorts of people that watch me. I've got atheists. I've got people who don't believe in God. I got people from all walks of life. You're welcome here. We're going to have the conversations. We don't always have to agree along, but we can get along. And I want y'all to stop being so scared to come up here sometimes and talk to me, because it helps me sometimes to get through these programs, because it's not easy to talk for 2 hours every single day on the internet, so when I ask you guys to come up and just, dialogue with me and what are your thoughts, I want you to give me your thoughts and don't be afraid to talk to me. That's all. That's it. We are the Mad Church Disease Renegades. We are family over here. That's what we do. So don't be afraid to come up and don't be afraid to have a conversation. Okay. Now, let me just tell you this. I will not be pouring bombed like William McCray. If y'all didn't see that the other day, good googly muggly. Lord, come here. Did y'all hear what I say? That William got porn bomb. Yes, he did. Let me tell you, some man came up on the screen. His drawers was already down. He looked like he was standing in the shower in the bathroom. And he was just window washing. He was wagging from left to right, from left to right. Lord help me. Wait a minute. I didn't even want to start off with this. Wait a minute. So William leaned into the camera like he ain't, never seen one before. He leaned into the camera and he said, "Oh my." Let me tell y'all something. When I tell you I died, I fell back on my bed laughing. Let me tell y'all something. It was so funny to me. I fell back on my bed. I mean, arms out, just fell back on the bed. Phone in my hand, laughing my head off. You hear me? Now, then he said, "Well, is that my Harold somebody?" He said, "Is that my Harold? It don't look like my Harold." And I said to myself, the man didn't even show his face. The only thing he showed was his penis. I'm sitting here thinking, well, how would you recognize Harold if Harold doesn't show his face and the only thing Harold showed was his tallywhacker? I said, well, this is an interesting kind of situation for somebody to be saying on a live. Is that my Harold? It don't look like my Harold. Y'all pray for me. Let me tell you something. I have been laughing for days. When I tell you I've been laughing for days, I've been laughing for days. 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 William, no, he need to stop. That was hilarious. And I'm going to tell you something too about William. That's the one thing about William too that gets me. I don't watch William that much, but I will tell you this. William reminds me a lot of times of Let Me See Your Transcripts. And the reason why William reminds me a lot of times of Let Me See Your Transcripts, because William is funny without knowing he's funny. To him, it's just normal. But to the rest of us, it is hilarious. It is literally hilarious. And I'm like, this man, God bless him. But let me tell you, Tasha Global, there was a dang-a-lang on the screen, and it was window washing and wiper blade swinging, and William was amused and confused all at the same time. And I tell you, He leaned into that camera, Tasha Global. And when I tell you, I fell out laughing. I could not help myself. I was laughing so hard. But hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. So if you missed that one, you sure missed a funny situation because it was hilarious. Now, first of all, I don't keep William's hours. William has those crackhead hours. I don't do crackhead hours. I don't do ladies of the evening hours. I don't do that. I got to go to bed. I'm not up at 10, 11 o'clock at night, watching people, on the internet. And 11 and 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. That's Lovey hours. Y'all know Lovey be up at 12, 1 o'clock. Every time I turn around, Lovey going live at 1 o'clock in the morning, because it helps them, first of all, because for that late night crew, and there are a lot of people that stay up. But it's hilarious. It really did. It was hilarious, you guys. If you guys didn't see it, it was hilarious. That's all I can say to you. It was hilarious. But yeah, that was very, very interesting. Now, moving right along. I did speak with Earl Carter, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that have been following the COGIC saga. Earl Carter and I did finally have a conversation. We talked for probably about 45 minutes to almost an hour. All right. I'm going to say this. I told you guys what the situation was between Earl Carter and myself. And I told you how Earl Carter and I spoke with one another. We have a mutual respect for one another. I spoke with Carter, and all I'm going to tell you is this. He was very, very apologetic. And let me just say this, because no matter what I say, some people are they're just, and I'm not going to come out here, just so you know, I'm not going to do any sort of defending of anything. All I can tell you is what my experience has been and what my experience was. Okay. And I know, Gerald, because you're not the only one. You're not the only one, Gerald. And I respect your opinion and I respect your feelings, and I'm with you. Okay. So understand that. But I will tell you this. I have spoken with Earl Carter on a couple of occasions. This was the most apologetic that I have ever heard Earl Carter be to me at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. Normally he's kind of like, you know what I mean? But the man was apologetic. He kept apologizing on the phone. He kept saying to me, he said, Marcellus, I just got a whole lot of people I've got to make amends with. And I said, yes, I understand. He's like, I've got to fix it. He kept saying that throughout the conversation. I said, yes. I said, but you don't, you can't fix it with people who have already gone on, but the only thing you could do is fix it with the people that remain, and to do your best to fix it the best way you can. I made suggestions to him about, his apology. And I felt like his apology needed to be on a larger platform. And I think that here's what he said to me. He said, well, I thought, J. Drew Sheard had like one of the biggest platforms in the world because he's the presiding bishop, right? And I said, yeah. I said, I get that. I said, but the way it was done, it wasn't done in a way that the people could really hear you and understand your heart and where you're at and where you're trying to go. I said, now, Earl, when you give this apology to the whole church, I said, because you need to give apology to the whole church. I said, you need to write it down. That's what I said to him. I said, Earl, do not fly off the cuff. I said, write it down. I said, you need to write it down, because he is a man of words. He is a linguist. Yes, he is. So I said, Earl, you should write it down, and then you should, present it to the church. I also mentioned to him everything that we talked about the other night. I mentioned to Earl. I said, Earl, I think you might want to take some of those videos down. This is the first time I have ever heard Earl Carter immediately capitulate and say, I could do that. That's what he said. He said, well, Marcellus, I took some of the videos down. I said, Earl, but a lot of people are feeling a certain way about those videos that you made about Bishop Blake. And we had that conversation. Now, I'm not going to go any further with that conversation in the public. That's for my members only. And I'll give y'all that conversation maybe Monday morning. We'll talk about that on Monday morning. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to put that out in public. I'm just not going to talk about that in the public. So that's that. Now, with that being said, because I'm not trying to hide anything, let me tell you why I'm not going to speak about it in the public. And I want you guys to know I'm not trying to keep anything from you. One of the things that Earl was very, concerned about is that he didn't want it to seem like I was coming out here trying to defend him or to make what he did correct or, those types of things. He said, Marcellus, he said, I don't want people to think that I put you up to anything. And I said, well, Earl, first of all, I'm a grown man. And if I want to, if I want to say anything, I'm just going to say it. I said, I understand where you are. I know I know the conversations that we've had in the past, but let me tell y'all something. Earl Carter was the most apologetic I have ever heard him. I swear to you, that's the truth. And there's another part of our conversation that I will be talking to the members about. Let me also say this. Earl Carter is 75 years old. One of the things that I think he is also dealing with is the fact that he is crescendoing to the presence of God. He is fast approaching, and he recognized that, he's an older gentleman and he's going to be, with Jesus. He ain't going to live forever. And one of those things that he expressed to me, he just kept saying to me, Marcellus, I have to make it right. And I said, well, Earl, just do the best you can. I said, now, if you apologize to the people and they don't receive it, there's nothing you can do for that. You know what I'm saying? You could just apologize, etc. So that's what I did. I spoke with Bishop Carter, and I will give you guys some more of that conversation in a private way, because I don't want people to think that he gave me or fed me information, because I just didn't speak with Bishop Carter. I also spoke with some other people. And I'm probably going to be calling some other people in the COGIC church to have a conversation with them as well. And so I'm going to leave it there for now. But hopefully you guys can hear my heart and understand what I'm trying to say to you, because I'm really not trying to keep anything from you. I just want you to know that I'm leaving the conversation as far as Earl Carter's there is where it is. I don't really have anything else to say in regard to it. And because I know it's going to kind of look kind of funny if I do. You feel me? Because I have a relationship with the man. Let me also say this. I tried to go over there to Sir Walter Jones and watch Sir Walter Jones's program. I didn't know Sir Walter Jones and Earl Carter were friends. Now, normally, I don't like to talk about other content creators, especially if I've never, had a conversation with them public, on a personal level. Let me put it to you this way. I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'll say that for my private live. I ain't even gonna say nothing. I think Sir Walter Jones said a couple of things that he made a lot of good points in there as well. And he said something about, Earl going over to people like Craig Lewis, and when he left he didn't really leave the COGIC church, but he kind of was put out. That show that Sir Walter Jones did was very informative. It was very good. And I'll just simply say, I'll leave my comments there with that for now. And so it was a good program. So now I just want to say, for any of you that have been hurt and by my get over it comment that I made, I apologize once on another platform. I'm going to apologize again. I just feel like, all we can do is accept somebody's apology and allow that, you know what I mean? And the person has to then have behaviors and things after that to sort of show us that they are somewhat repentant and they're trying to make amends. And I think the time will be in, the proof will be in time, or the proof is in the pudding, as they say. So we'll be able to watch the way he moves. Now, St. James and I had a conversation about it, because I didn't listen to the message that he preached over there at Greater Emmanuel. Apparently, St. James was saying some of the same things that he was preaching before. He was talking about it, say, Greater Emmanuel. I'm like, okay, St. James, there's only so much I can say or do as it relates to that. That's where I'm at with it, y'all. And I will let you guys come up in a minute, and y'all can tell me off, or y'all can tell me what y'all want to tell me as it relates to that. I'm willing to listen and hear what you say. I don't have a problem with that, because I'm a humble man and I try to be a humble person when it comes to this stuff. And so I will most certainly let you tell me what you got to say. All right. Now, but here's the thing, and this is another thing I want to say. He's 75 years old. Our grandparents, our grandmama and them, when they get to be that age, you understand what a big difference it is to try to get them to change or to turn around or to do something else. It's a difficult situation. And as an older person, as a person who's getting older, I have to tell you, you don't understand sometimes all of the lingo that people are using, because you've been raised and understood things to be one way, and now a new generation is coming up. I ain't lying. Moni sent me a thing today before we came live, and they was asking these kids who these famous people were, or the guy was giving them $1, right? And so the guy asked him about Usher and J-Lo and some of these other people. And he putting up some older people like Charlie Murphy, which he put up Eddie Murphy's brother. And the little boy was like, that's Eddie Murphy. And the guy was like, nah, that ain't Eddie. That's his brother, Charlie. And it was so funny. And then when he got to the last photograph, he put up a picture of Esther Roll. And that little boy said, well, that's Trick Daddy. I swear, I was eating popcorn. I almost choked. I said, this generation is a whole, they don't know the stuff that we know because we're not really teaching or investing in them. And I want everybody to know, Gerald, and I get the fact that we're going to have some disagreements. And I get it that a lot of people may disagree with what I said and how, the situation has been. But my whole focus has been, number one, loving you and being kind and loving towards you. And I'm talking about everybody in this audience, and to try to walk in a way that I think is respectful to all parties involved. I don't always hit the mark, but I've tried in this instance. And that's the only thing I can say to that. Okay. That's all I can say to that. But we just have to, but I also told you all, y'all need to take Earl Carter off of parole. Some of y'all are just determined to keep people on parole. No, y'all got to take Earl Carter off parole. He's 75 years old. Y'all need to expunge his record. And you need to understand, grandmama and granddaddy going to say some crazy stuff. We're not going to agree, but we have to respect them at a distance. Okay. You need to be in close proximity. Sometimes you need to go to your house. Grandmama, I love you, but I'm gone. Right. I respect what you said, Earl. I respect your apology, but I'm out of here. It don't mean I'm going to sit up here and listen to you say something. You understand what I'm saying? That's going to be offensive. And me being who I am, I'm not going to sit in a church service and let you attack people. And I'm just going to be like, amen. No, we're at a different time. We're in a different place. And I feel like God is going to work on us. And so I leave it at that. I leave it at that. And that's all I'm going to say about that situation until Monday morning. And I promise you guys, I will go live Monday morning in our private chat. And I will give you the other piece of that, because he said some things to me that I was not aware of. And it sort of, shifted a couple of things for me. But I also talked to a couple of other people in the COGIC denomination and leadership. And we had a couple of conversations. And I understand where everybody's at. I do. I get it. And that's all I can say to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me deal with this idiot. All right, moving right along. Marvin Sapp. Now you all know the other day I did a video concerning Marvin Sapp when Marvin Sapp did his close the doors. Also, when Marvin Sapp went to the Ricky Smiley show and he did this rude, disrespectful, gaslighting interview that he and Ricky had. I told y'all then that Marvin was full of shit. I told y'all then that Marvin was full of shit when he said what he said, right? And I have been proven yet right again as it relates to Marvin Winans. Let me tell you something. And shout out to all of you that are watching the program. Please make sure y'all hit the like button. I should have at least 150 likes by now. Please, somebody let me know what the likes are. I'm sorry to have to go here, you all, but Marvin is full of it. He's full of it, and I'm gonna break it down and I'm gonna tell you. Marvin Sapp. Yes, did I say Winans? Because all of the Marvins is screwy. Dion, I can't get the Marvin straight because they both full of a mess and they both from Detroit and I can't get it together. But anyway, hold on. So let's roll this bean footage back for just a minute here, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all remember that Marvin Winans a couple of years ago, of course, did his raise an offering and close the doors at the PAW convention. And you know, it raised some internet flags and people was like, oh, this is from 2 years ago. What's the big deal? Let me make this announcement for the whole wide world and everybody to understand. When something goes viral on the internet, it goes viral because it strikes a nerve, and because, according to you all, nothing happens unless God wants it to happen. God wanted us to talk about Marvin and this raising of the offering and how it was done and what was said, and so we discussed it. If you do not like the fact that we are discussing it, that is your problem. You know, you don't get to come on vloggers' channels and start railing and being upset with us because we're having a conversation. Some of y'all are straight weirdos. Yeah, I said it. Y'all are weirdos. Because you have a million channels and a million places to go for information and to talk and have conversations, but you will stop by people's channels and tell them, I don't like it. I don't like what you said. This was this and this is this. Okay. But you got a million places you can go. I thank you for showing up and I thank you for watching me. I'm a real person. I will let you have a conversation with me and we'll share and we'll have a conversation. So, hey, have at it. But just don't expect for me to take your rudeness and your disrespect. I just don't think that's necessary. It's just not. And I'm just not going to do it. Sorry, just not going to do it. I'm sorry to tell you that. Just not going to do it. Anyway. So Marvin went on this press tour. He went on Ricky Smiley. Some of you don't even know. He went on the news. I got another video on my channel. You can go watch it. It's called When Closed Doors Go Wrong. That is a brand new video, a short video I did. It was about 8 minutes long, where I showed you Marvin going on this news channel playing the victim. Because I keep trying to tell y'all, Marvin loves to play the victim. Marvin did this whole press tour. He done went on the news. He done went around the internet. Oh, y'all trying to kill me. I've been getting death threats and my children been getting death threats. Like his children are 5, 7, and 11. These are grown people. They in their 30s, 27 and 30, and they up there, right? But he, oh, my children. I said, okay, Marvin, I see what you're doing. Then as soon as Marvin got done playing the victim with y'all, let me go ahead and see if I can pull this up. Marvin decided pretty much to tell y'all to kiss his behind. So let me do this. We're going to update that. Let me get this over here. Good. All right. So let me share my screen. Let's go on up here. Because I can't make this up. And it ain't no need of you being mad at me because I just be telling y'all the whole truth. Marvin said y'all got him twisted. Marvin said y'all got him twisted. This is what Marvin said.
Say, I ain't no punk in the spirit.
Shout out to Joy 105.
Dog in the Holy Ghost. I can't get. They got me twisted, ain't Ali? Say, I ain't no punk in the spirit.
So Marvin trying to tell you he ain't no punk in the spirit. So he did all of that interviewing. Woe is me. I'm getting all these calls and I'm getting death threats for $24 or $20. All I asked for was a measly, minuscule amount of $20. And then all of this, and I got attacked, and my church got attacked, and we all got attacked, and everybody got attacked. Okay? Yes, Etta, I pointed that out, Etta. Thank you so very much. Amen. Thank you for the correction. I did correct myself. Praise God. But I told you all that Marvin has it's almost like a Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. He sort of switches. On the one hand, he always plays the victim, and then he comes out and tells you in another sermon he ain't no punk. Now, in the midst of all of this, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to know is that Marvin Winans, according to him, will be preaching a sermon either today or tomorrow, whenever he preaches it, called Close Them Doors. But not only is he preaching a sermon called Close Them Doors, he has released new music called Close Them Doors. Now, if this isn't profiteering off of Black people, I don't know what is. You all tell me, how in the world does a man who claims to be in fear for his life, in fear for his children's life, come on out with a sermon called Close Them Doors, and then come out with new music called Close Them Doors? Ladies and gentlemen, to me, it would seem that he is trying to profit off of the situation. And all of that whole woe is me stuff was, like I said before to you guys, is just gaslighting. I clearly told you that Marvin Sapp was full of it. And all of that crap that he was saying about, oh, my church's been threatened. And here's another thing. I want to say this. When Marvin did the interview with the newscaster, he said, well, we've had to hire off-duty cops. Listen to me, Marvin. Most of the security at most well-known ministers' churches are off-duty police officers. So it's sort of a play on words that sort of irritates my soul, you all know. And so I can't really understand why he tends to take this kind of approach to the situation, when I really deem that Marvin should be a little bit more careful at his whole production that he brings to the forefront when he's trying to gaslight the world and tell the world that he is in fear for his life. And then 5 minutes later, he's going to be coming out here talking about, I'm not no punk. It's a little bit strange to me. Y'all make sure y'all stick a feather in your cap. So when I drop the link, you'll be able to address that issue. But that's just how I feel. And Marvin just proved me right again. So for all of you that was around here talking about, oh, it was just about $20. He just proved to you that this wasn't about no $20. And not only that, let's address the fact that all of you guys are using these sort of quote unquote viral moments to profit off of them. You're using these viral moments and you're not building God's kingdom. You're not trying to advance the kingdom of God. The only thing you're trying to do, Marvin, is to put more money in your pocket. Just like Kiara Sheard with that whole gut situation. God is up to something. And you're going to talk about, oh, he's in your husband and your daughter been in your guts. And you use these things and you throw these things out into the public. And then when the public has some type of response to it, you treat the public like they're crazy and they're nuts and they don't know what they're talking about. All I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that Marvin Sapp, as well as Marvin Winans, is full of shit. You don't have to like it. It is what it is. And I am the only place where you are going to be able to go and hear somebody say that these ninjas is full of shit. Everybody else is, oh, the Lord, oh, God bless them. Oh, may the Lord bless them. And the Lord, I'm just going to pray for them. Oh, my Lord, I'm the only person that's going to look into this camera and tell you he was gaslighting you from the beginning and that he is full of shit. I'm the only one. Okay? The rest of these people in this space is so holy and they so, oh, the Lord, the Lord. Well, listen here. Listen here. I love the Lord too, but I also know when people are playing in my face, and I also know when people are being disrespectful. And Ricky Smiley, Roland Martin, and Marvin Sapp, all of them were gaslighting and they were being disrespectful to us, and they are full of shit. And I will say it, and I will just end it there when it comes to that situation. You all need to understand, I am not new to this. I am true to this, and I will not have anybody gaslighting me and trying to convince me that I don't know what I know.
Mad Church Disease, a channel that's all about current events, news, and Christian drama. A channel that's dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Our brothers and sisters who courageously stepped outside the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to tell the truth. A channel whose goal is to help the average person understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. So like, comment, subscribe, and smash the notifications button to be a part of this channel.
Shout out to everybody that's supporting the Mad Church Disease channel. If you have not supported the channel, I need at least 10 of you guys tonight to show some love to the Mad Church Disease channel. Make sure you support the channel on tonight. That the Cash App information is on the screen for you. But I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware. You can definitely go ahead and show your support. If I can get at least 10 of you guys to support with at least $10, that will help us meet our budget and we can move on. Let me just take a moment. Can I get at least 10 of you all to support the program? I need at least 10 of you guys. If you guys can do at least $10, that would be very helpful. I need to move on to my next story, but I want you guys to be to understand I got to pay some stuff. I've been off for 4 or 5 days. I need to make sure that we do it. Thank y'all very much. I really do appreciate it. Now, who's going to be the first person? Let me see so I can acknowledge them. Let me see who's going to do it. All right. Shout out to Melanie. Thank you so much, Melanie. Thank you so very much for your support of the Mad Church Disease channel. Now, if I can get 9 more y'all, that would be great. So thank y'all so much. What do you say? Marcellus, thank you for being a opponent of the uncommitted. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Okay, what do you say? MC, the church leaders not all have been gaslighting for centuries. We choose to go the flames. Well, yeah, that's true too. You know, you sound like Uncle Fred, Gerald. Uncle Fred be saying the same thing. I got you. I am. Listen, I'm with you. I understand. But it's my job to just be able to call it out and say how I feel. Now, moving right on, ladies and gentlemen. The gentleman that you see on the screen tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is known to the internet vlogging space as Larry Reid. You might know him as Larry Reid Live or the Larry Reid Live program. Oh, I forgot to put up on my screen something that I need to share with y'all. Wait 1 second. Let me pull that up in here because I didn't have it here. Thank you. I didn't mean to show that just yet. Let me remove that off the screen. I got a lot to share. Before I get there, let me talk for just a second. You know, over the years, I have, for the sake of the stuff that was going on between Daryl Moore and Dr. Dingleberry, better known as Dr. Scrotum Sniffer. And for those of you, it's going to be necessary for you to understand that I am not intimidated. There's a couple of things I need to say. I am not moved. I am not jealous. I am not envious. I am a vlogger and I have been doing this for 14 years and I have always called out a lot of other people in the sort of church space community as on YouTube. So this isn't new to me. Okay. Let me be very clear. Larry Reid is a known liar. He is a known liar. It is an established fact that he is a liar. Somebody said, well, Marcellus, what do you mean it's an established fact? Where are the receipts and the proof that that Manasseh Jordan was going to come out here and sue Bishop T.D. Jakes? Y'all remember for almost 6 months to a whole year, all we heard was the he had spoke with people in T.D. Jakes' camp, and he had spoke with people in Manasseh Jordan's camp, and he had spoke with all of these people, and it was a nothing burger, right? And when that didn't work, he moved on to another gentleman, and you all know the history of that. I won't repeat it. But one thing about this gentleman, now when I stopped my radio program, we stopped our radio program way around 2015 or so, might even been 2014. I know around 2015 when Facebook was about to really pop off, because believe it or not, Facebook really didn't start really popping off and becoming popular. Only in really about 2015 is when it became very popular. Then this guy showed up named Larry Reid. I was leaving my radio program. I said, you know what? I'm going to send all my people over to Larry. And I started sending all of my folks over to Larry. Leonard Robinson, my friend Tamara, all of those people went over there with Larry because I was done with my radio program. I didn't want to have it. I just wanted to rest. A lot of people that was a part of the Church Folk Revolution, we wanted some rest. We had been doing that radio program, I think, for like 7-8 years straight. We were live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then we started having more shows. We had a Thursday show. We had a Sunday show. Elgin and the twins had a third. I mean, we were busy people. We had built up a following. So the whole notion that the Church Folk Revolution never had a following, false. Many of you didn't even know you were dealing with the Church Folk Revolution. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kevin Moore. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Many of you didn't know you were dealing with the Church Folk Revolution because we had a website entitled pimppreacher.com. Okay. We had a website called pimppreacher.com. Very popular, got millions of hits. So many hits that it's a lot of times the website would crash. We are the people that broke the story about Ivy Hilliard and the helicopter blades. We're the people that broke the story about Brian Carn and the witch. That was Sister Justice, Miss Justice broke that story. Leonard the Truth Robinson, I brought him up here on the platform. You guys have seen him. Leonard broke the story about Brian Carn and the reading of the envelopes and all of that other stuff. Okay. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate it. So we've done this work for a number of years. Right? Ann Brock, my good friend Ann Brock, who supported us and started us off, Ann has been in this space for years and years and years and years. Ann is not new to this. Ann is like me. She's true to this. Okay. So we've been doing this work for years. Now, when Larry burst on the scene, because I'll give credit where credit is due. Now, some of y'all gonna get mad at me for this, but it is true. When Larry started doing the Larry Reid live show, what he did was he came out on his program and he started adding a different component to his program, which was accepting of the phone calls. That was something the rest of us, when we were on the radio, we took phone calls. But when we were doing Facebook Lives and things of that nature, we didn't take phone calls. Now, I'm going to credit Vincent for this because, to be honest with you, even from my early days of watching Larry, he always used to say that Vincent was the one that helped him put the stuff together. But all of a sudden now he's telling everybody it was all his brainchild. But for those of us that were back there in the day, we know Vincent did the politics, Lisa did the sports, and Larry did the gossip. So we all know how that flow and that stuff went, right? And I'm saying all of this to say something. Trust me, stay with me. I'm a little long-winded. I am a preacher. Y'all just hang on with me. So when all of that stuff went on, around about the time of when the last time I supported Larry, that I can remember was when he did the Juanita Bynum story. I left Larry's platform during the Juanita Bynum story, because I saw how he manipulated that story. Then the next day, like somebody released her honorarium information out to the public, because I think at that particular paperwork for her honorarium was like $50K, so they just was beating up on Juanita, and I didn't like that. Me personally, I was like, and I didn't like the fact that they gave that man an excuse for going into Juanita Bynum's bedroom. I don't care whether she throws white sheets over stuff. I don't care if her people go in and lay out all her bras and panties. It was not right for that man to go into Juanita Bynum's bedroom, period. I don't care if she took the check and left. If she felt uncomfortable preaching in front of a bunch of men who knew what her bras and panties looked like. If she felt uncomfortable, she felt uncomfortable. She took her money. She went on about her business, period, point blank. But I didn't like that. But Larry started telling these people these narratives about, oh, Marcellus left for this reason, and I got rid of him, and some guy named Conrad. It was just a mess. So he actually went and got on his program and called my name out and say he got rid of me because I was trying to come over there and make a name for myself. Now, if you don't believe me, I have put the video up in my private group. For those of you that are members of my private group, the video is in there for you to watch and to see and to hear him say what he said. So I ain't gotta lie. I put the video in there for my members. My members, you all have it, and you all should have seen it by now. With that being said, Larry went around for a long time saying I was lying and he didn't say nothing. The proof is in my membership. It's right in there. Moving right along. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Larry Reid, around 2019, latter part of 2019, when we're entering into COVID, is when he did that. And I called Larry out and brought him to my Facebook page and say, hey, dude, why you do this? Because I didn't have any beef with Larry. And I was like, why would you go on your platform and call out my name? And he just didn't even call my name Marcellus. He actually used my middle name, which nobody knew the page. And it's a whole long story, but it's a whole long story. I explained that in my private chat. Moving right along. So I said, oh, this ninja's up to something. And that was around the time that Jives, Andrea, Daryl, and myself met around November, December of 2019. Now, y'all keep in mind that 2019, at the tail end of 19, we were going into COVID. Between 2019 and that whole COVID period, all of a sudden, Larry, I'm rich, bitches. That's what he said. I'm rich, bitches. He's out here and he's going shopping and buying stuff. And oh, I'm rich. I'm rich. Everybody just got rich all of a sudden. Everybody just was rich. I said, oh, okay. Now you went from everybody living in the same place. It was Kendall, Shamako, Vincent, all of them in a one little bedroom place. Y'all all in the place together. Might have been 2 bedrooms. Charge it to my head, not my heart. I can't remember. But everybody was in this one place, and then all of a sudden everybody got rich. I'm rich, bitches. And I said, boy, this is some strange stuff here going on. So he showed himself to the world as he's just so Mr. I'm rich. I said, boy, this is some strange stuff. So Daryl Moore lit into Larry's ass for about 3-4 years. I mean, he lit into Larry's ass. Every move Larry made, Daryl was one step behind that ninja, and he didn't know what to do. He got really upset. And all of the stuff that he was denying and saying wasn't true, it ended up being true. I'm saying it from this point. Larry said at first he said he didn't know Leandria. That ended up not being true, right? He said he didn't even know Leandria. At one particular point, he said the house that he said the stuff went down in, he said the house had never been built. Y'all were so astute on the internet, y'all started researching and went to go find out the house had been built. I was like, wow, I was sitting back watching. Even people on TikTok was like, yeah, the house was built. He's lying. We pulled the records. Like, wow, okay, this is interesting. I said, oh man. So we go through this whole little situation between him and Daryl. He's trying to shut Daryl down at all costs, but ends up what he didn't understand. And I'll repeat it to you again, Larry. This is going to follow you for the rest of your life. And it's going to meet you at the most inopportune times when you think you're about to cross over into some level of success. You are going to find yourself having to stare into the reality of Leandria. And some of them other folks. Okay, you understand that. But I have been surfing around and listening. Some of you guys have been sending me information. I was told, don't know if this is true or not, so this is alleged information, that Larry told his Patreon and his people that him and Lovie was supposed to go into business together. And he was waiting on Lovie to give him $10,000, but Lovie reneged on giving him the $10,000. Well, my thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a multimillionaire, as Larry so professes to claim, why would you need a measly $10,000 from Lovie to participate in a business in order for a business venture to get up off of the ground? I just want y'all to put some logic to this. Does that make any sense to you all? I'm just asking a question. If you're so rich, ladies and gentlemen, why would you need to come to your followers and ask your followers for $20,000 because you want to release some new music and put some new music out there? If you're a multimillionaire, why would you ask your followers to do that? Why wouldn't you just cut a check? These are some things that would make you just go, Could it be, ladies and gentlemen, that the relationships between Bernard Jordan, Rosalind Weems, and all of the people that had surrounded him over these last couple of years, since those relationships have seemingly seemed to have smoldered to a crock pot boil, it seems as if something is going awry over there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can't speak on it in totality. I can't speak on it from a surety. I can only speak from a space of speculation, but something ain't right. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Y'all listen to me. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. And my spiritualness normally does not lead me wrong. Doesn't lead me wrong. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think because of the nature of the relationship that he had with Bernard Jordan, coming over there doing that once a month telethon that he used to do, and some of these other things that's going on, something seems to be going awry over there with the money. Somebody said, well, Marcellus, why do you say that? I'm so glad you asked. There seemed to be a loan that was requested or some commercial financing from the MBN Network Corp, doing business as LDR Enterprises of Georgia. Somebody has been applying for loans over there. And I'm not quite understanding, and y'all help me if I'm wrong, because I'm really trying to understand something. If you super rich and you make multi-millions of dollars every year, how is it that you applying for loans for commercial financing when you got all of this money and you're a multi-millionaire? Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Not only did you apply for the loan, but you was denied. You were denied for the loan. And you didn't even go to a bank to get the loan. You didn't go to a bank to get the loan. You went to one of these loan shopper places where you put in your information and the people just shop you out to a whole bunch of different lenders and see if anybody will bite to give you a loan. Now, I'm a little confused as to why a multimillionaire, ladies and gentlemen, would be doing this. Y'all help me understand. As you can see, it says 4/13/2025, the NBN network. Now, I do have a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is a question that I want to ask y'all. Does anything seem strange about the name of this corporation to you all? I'm just asking. Anything seem different about this name of this corporation? Uh-huh. Now I'm not gonna get into it because it's not my business. But there are some things that make me go, how are you? The NBN Network Corp, which is supposed to be a nonprofit. The NBN is supposed to be a nonprofit organization. That's what he tells everybody. That's what he uses to tell everybody in the public. Is doing business as, but it's tied to the Larry D. Reid Enterprise. Now, is Larry D. Reid Enterprises a for-profit corporation? Is that a for-profit corporation? I'm just confused and asking questions, ladies and gentlemen. Something seems to be off here with me, with these names and how this stuff is all connected. Now, of course, Donald Trump done fired every damn body at the IRS. Or he trying to. So even things that should take easily a short period of time is going to really take forever now. I'm just telling you, to me personally, and in my opinion, something seems off here. Something seems quite off here with this. But sir, you were applying for financial, commercial financing. And I want to ask you this. Why are you applying for commercial financing when you're about to come up into your Reformation experience? Were you not able to meet all of your obligations for your Reformation experience, and you had to take out a loan in order for you to be able to afford to do your Reformation experience? Sounds like you need a reformation of your wallet and how to do business, because something is off here, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, not because this is all speculation. We're just talking. We're just having a conversation. Something seems to be off with this man. Something seems to be off. And I just have to lean back here for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a multi-millionaire and you've got chains draped around your neck and you're spending all of this money on these bejeweled, bedazzled stuff in order to impress people online, what would be the need for you to go and to try and get a commercial loan? Does that not strike you all as strange? And if your celestial circle and all of these people that are so supporting your ministry and supporting the stuff that you're doing, why would you need to take out a loan? Because wasn't it said, ladies and gentlemen, about those of us over here? I was told that don't nobody support us and don't nobody support our channels and, don't nobody support us. Well, obviously you're showing us something about your supporters, because your support must be drying up because you're over there applying for commercial financing. And I don't think that you're applying for commercial financing for a project outside of the country, because that would seem to be counterintuitive to the bank's ability to have the loan repaid. It would be a very risky investment, in my opinion. So something is wrong here. It says, we unfortunately cannot approve your application for commercial financing. My thing is this. How could you ask people for a loan when you don't own anything? You have no assets, no tangible assets from what we understand. Do you own properties? I mean, do you own them? Or are they Airbnbs that you rent to make people think that you are successful and that you are more than what you are on the internet? Just a question. All this trying to keep up with the Joneses and look a certain way on the internet seems to be quite strange with me. And it also seems like some people are doing some crazy stuff in order for them to prop themselves up on the internet. That's all I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, we're applying for loans and raising offerings. The MBN network, from my understanding, you're supposed to be a nonprofit organization. You raising money, but here's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, with all of these folks. The support is down, and they are mad about it, and they have to come up with another plan. And in my opinion, some of these preachers on the internet have to come up with another scheme so they can take other people's money when they know darn well they wasn't rich from the beginning. They were just simply it's just simply foolishness. Well, here's the thing. Not only the business structure, but if you're going to ask people for a loan, Tasha Global, you should have some type of asset, or you should be having some consistency to your finances in order for people to do that. And like I told you guys on this channel, most banks do not like giving loans to churches and religious organizations because they cook the books all the time. And we don't need to talk about that because we have somebody over here that told us he cooks the books. Larry cooked the books, allegedly. Well, Vincent said, I'm just saying what Vincent said, the books was cooked. That's what Vincent said. Vincent said the books was cooked. I don't know if the books was cooked. I'm just going by what the other vlogger said. He said that him and the man cooked the books. Did they cook the books? I don't know. But if you're trying to go out for a commercial loan, you would really need to be able to have some assets to prove to these people that you are worthy of the loan and that you can pay it back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if he is such a multimillionaire like he says he is, that should have been an easy process for him to prove. Okay, should have been very easy for him to prove. What I'm suggesting for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what this man has done is all smoke and mirrors. And it has been smoke and mirrors for quite some time now. It's all smoke and mirrors. And this is my opinion. And I don't care if you don't like it or not. You don't sell off stuff, and you don't try to go around here trying to get rid of stuff, thinking that other people aren't watching and they don't know what you're doing. Sir, you are the epitome to me of somebody who's just fronting on the internet. I don't know why you're doing that. To me, I think you should stop, first of all, because you have this I got to prove to everybody I'm rich image, and you not. We all know you're not. You are a liar, and we know you're a liar. Because if you was rich, it would have been very easy for you to prove and get commercial financing for your business, because your business would have seemed successful, and your business would have had some cash flow, and your business would have been able to have some things on the books where it could have submitted this information to the bank, and the bank could have said, hey, this guy is a good investment and we should make an investment in this guy's business because this guy can pay us back our money. So according to this lender and these people who looked at your funding information, they said you're not worth the paper that you're printed on. Nah. Speak in tongues now. Shando, Ibo Shai, Handobo, Ha, EBBI, Shanama. I'm just saying. Something ain't right. There's something in the water that's muddy. Don't y'all come back over here telling us we don't know what we're talking about. I'm trying to tell you something in the water is muddy. Now he done lost Rosalind Weems. She done been hauled off to jail, so they can't keep that going up in the Patreon. According to them and William McCray, the relationship between Larry and Bishop Jordan is kind of marred and scarred. I don't really know if that's really true because I don't really trust these jackals. So that relationship, that fundraising relationship, seemed to come to a close. So, ladies and gentlemen, something is off in the water here. Something is off in the water. And I'm just saying, something is off in the water. I need 5 of y'all to send $10 now, and we will have met our goal. Thank y'all so much. Listen here. Something is muddy in the water over there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't come over here telling me that Mr. Man is super uber rich. He's not. He's a liar. If he was super uber rich, he could have. What you applying for commercial financing for? What you need? What you need? You rich. You don't need no financing. You got money. You got cash flow. Stuff is coming in. Somebody need to explain that to me because I don't get it. I'm just saying. Don't tell me I don't know. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the question of the night. What's causing all of this need for commercial funding over there? What's causing all of this need for people to apply for loans? Blessed lady, thank you so much, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Oh, let me go through the list, by the way. Shout out to all of you guys. Yeah, let me tell y'all. Doreen, thank you. Moni, thank you so much for your love. Tarsha, thank you so very much. And Melanie. Of course, that's 4 folks, right? So I told you all I need more, 5 more. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all for helping me take care of this budget. Thank y'all. It's a legitimate question. Explain that, Larry. Explain that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying. So that's the question of the night, and we can definitely discuss it. But I'm telling y'all right now, something is muddy in the water. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family, where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. Shout out to all of you. If you've yet to hit the like button, please make sure that you do so. This was a little surprise for you, wasn't it? I know. Because normally I don't like to talk about Dr. Scrotum Sniffer, but I wanted to talk about this today because I know he's full of shit and he knows he's full of shit. But it is what it is. And let me tell you, let me say this. I don't deny that COVID and a lot of that stuff from 2019 made a lot of these people have a significant amount of money. But there's a difference between growth and swell, ladies and gentlemen. Some people swell on the internet. Others of us grow. We grow at a very slow pace, but it's still a maturity to our growth. You know, it makes no sense for you to be running around here buying likes and buying views and buying subscribers. Listen to me very carefully. Slow grow is always better. If you don't believe that, ask a woman, she'll tell you. They love when that slow grow happens. But let me just move right on. Because Lord, let me hush. Let me move right on. Let me move right on. I'm going to be dealing with Pastor Philip Mitchell on Monday. I just wanted to put this up so you guys can be prepared. I'm going to be having a special guest, and we're going to be talking about this particular pastor. Get ready. He is the pastor of the 28197535 on the left side of the mountain church. And we're going to talk a little bit about Pastor Philip Mitchell on Monday. So make sure that you are here for the Mad Church Disease channel on Monday evening. And I'm going to make sure I try to confirm with my guests that they will be available. And we are going to talk about his comments towards African Americans. First of all, he's not even African American. He's from Haitian. He's Haitian or something. He ain't even from America. Trust me, I'm going to take good care of him too on Monday. I ain't forgot about him. I've been out here getting my rest, but I'm definitely going to talk about him as well because he's so double-minded. He did something in his sermon that nobody on the internet is even talking about. And I'm like, why y'all didn't mention this part? But we're going to talk about it later. Just to let you know, get your subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you hit your bell notification so that you will be notified when I go live. And let me just tell you, we're going to deal with Pastor Mitchell later. Now, let me just say this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this particular situation right now when it comes to Bishop T.D. Jakes. Y'all listen to me very carefully. Bishop T.D. Jakes, from what I understand, his $1 billion deal is in limbo with Wells Fargo right now. It's a possibility that that deal that he made that's supposed to be helping to enrich, environments and neighborhoods and making, low-income housing and stuff like that. These ninjas over there done cause that deal to sort of be in limbo. And I kind of feel like they did that on purpose. The whole purpose of that Dwayne Youngblood bull jive was for them to sort of stop Bishop Jakes from being able to do his business dealings and have his business dealings. And that is part of the problem, ladies and gentlemen. So don't get it twisted. That's what the situation is. And I'm going to still report on it. We are yet waiting on the documents to drop for Bishop T.D. Jakes. That's going to be coming. Oh, listen here, Tasha Global. They did that on purpose. That was their whole modus operandi. They thought if they would come out with that stupid case with Dwayne Youngblood, that T.D. Jakes would have just went ahead and paid the money because he had such big deals on the table. And in my opinion, it was just extortion. It was just extortion. That's all they were doing. They're extortionists. And you have to be an extortionist when you over here begging for commercial financing. Because if you're all rich, you know what I'm saying? You don't need no money because you're rich, bitch. You're rich. I'm just saying. You don't need no commercial financing if you got all this money and you over here blinging and you eating at the roof crisp and we ain't on your level. Remember? But you over here begging for commercial financing. Somebody help me understand it, because one of these things is not like the other. Help me figure it out, because I'm confused. I am perplexed. I am dumbfounded by this behavior. Because you rich, bitch. How is that possible? How is that even possible? Somebody come help me. Listen, this is what I believe. I believe when you applied for this loan, I believe what happened was something triggered in your mind and you started smelling those scrotums that you're so accustomed to smelling, and you messed up that application, and then people got wind of all that scrotum on that document and they said, wait a minute, something don't smell right on this here application. And what they didn't realize is they were having to deal with the smell of scrotum. And because of the smell of scrotum done lied to you, brother. Forget Satan. Scrotum done lied to you, and you filled out that application and thought you was gonna fool them people, and then people said, "Oh, hell to the no, no." It wasn't like that PPP loan, huh? All these people with these PPP loans and thought they were gonna get away with all of that foolishness, and then all of a sudden, your application got sick. All of a sudden, your application got sick. Fool. You really think people are stupid. And what's so sad about it is those people that are over there giving you all their money, they dumb as hell. They are dumb as hell. And that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, because you got to keep up appearances. And let me tell you something. Keeping up with these appearances is going to put you back in that trailer. You're going to be back in that trailer looking at them possums under the trailer. That's what you're going to be doing. That's exactly what you're going to be doing. Trying to keep up appearances. What's wrong with you just coming out saying, hey, I've had a bad couple of months, a bad couple of years. We need to downsize, but you're going to keep this thing going like you balling out of control with your non-closed closet filled self. Stupid. I would rather own something than to be flossing with nothing. I would rather own something than to be flossing with nothing. I'm just saying. Yes, Tasha Global, he lived in a trailer. He sure did live in a trailer. He was raised right in one. Living home in a trailer. This is what you're going to be saying. Mom, I'm coming home to you. That's what you're gonna be doing. Larry, stop playing with these people on the internet. Because sooner or later, somebody they're gonna tell on you. Because I think these documents and all this other stuff clearly shows who you are. I'm just saying. It clearly shows who you are to me. But for the sake of, whatever, you're going to keep your shenanigans up, I guess. I don't know what the purpose of that would be, but that's the way it seems, Larry. And yeah, I said what I said, and I meant what I said. Yes, Aaron, living home in a trailer. Mom, I'm coming home to you. Because that's what he was doing. When Daryl showed us that he lived at home in that damn trailer, I've never forgot that shit. And that's what really changed my mind about him. Because let me tell you, listen, I had a whole mind switch about Larry when I found out he's from that trailer. And I'm not saying that people who live in trailers are bad people or anything like that. But when you have a personality like his, that lets me know why he overcompensates for all of that other stuff. I'm rich. Everybody, I'm rich. And even that damn clown William over there with all them Temu hats and Temu furs that he done got off of Temu and Sheen. Everybody's rich. I'm rich. Knock it off. Knock it off, people. Just knock it off. I don't make as much money as I used to, but I'll put it to you this way. I made good money as a financial planner. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be back in my industry, and I cannot wait. But listen to me very carefully. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see clearly now all obstacles that were in my way are removed. And I can clearly talk about these things the way that I talk about them, because something is off with you, brother. Something is off with you. I'm just saying. Something ain't right. Moving right along, ladies and gentlemen. Moving right along. All right, did I drop the link for y'all yet? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go and do that. And if you come and go ahead and get yourself prepared and come on up. And for those of you that are supporting the show, make sure you do so before we get ready to go into this other situation and talk to all these people. And if you have booked a consultation with me over the last couple of weeks, because I've had a couple of y'all book and had to reschedule, it's already on my schedule for this week coming up. So make sure that y'all are there. I promise you, I won't have to reschedule this week. I was so tired and worn out. I couldn't even do a couple of those appointments, but I got some of you, and I know that you're on my schedule. So if you have not scheduled a free consultation, the moderators will put that the link information in the screen below. And I can definitely see what I can do for you as far as helping you with that is concerned. Oh, Clarissa. We ain't on their level. I know one thing. When I do apply for stuff, I get it. Only because I know how to do the paperwork, and the paperwork is done right. And they're not going to give you nothing if you highly in debt and ain't got nothing to show for it. You ain't got a pot, no window. What the hell they gonna give it to you for? So you can get up there and be talking about, let's call on them spirits from Africa. Zumba. Y'all heard him speaking in tongues, sounding like a Yamaha motorcycle. Zumba. No, they're not gonna they're not giving you money. And thank God Lovey had sense to back out of that damn deal with you. Lovey, you dodged a bullet with that one, from what I heard. I guess your propheticals was working then, buddy. I guess them darn fake braids you wear wasn't too tight when you realize that you shouldn't be giving Larry your damn money. That's what I do know. I'm just saying. Man, you got a revelation. The Spirit of the Lord laid his hand on you and gave you what you needed. Because that is funny. Y'all hear me when I tell you? That is funny. Okay, wait a minute. I know Gerald is waiting on me. Sorry, Gerald. I was running off.
You're fine. You're fine. Good evening, Marcellus. How are you doing?
I'm fine, brother. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm great. So we're gonna deal with Earl Carter. Earl Carter first.
Let's talk about Earl Carter.
So my problem, Earl Carter is actually an example for the church and the body. He pinpoints some of the book that I'm writing about in Slavery of the Mind. The tradition of the Christianity faith tends to be starch and very much
Dogmatic.
there's no middle area.
I got
So the problem that I have is not the apology,
you.
because actually he did not. If you really want to be technical, he did not apologize. That was not an apology. That was saying that
How so?
I'm going to explain it. I'm going to
Okay,
explain it.
let me sit back and hush.
Because for me to say that I apologize for using the words, listen to clearly what I'm saying. The word that I used, because it may have offended, and how I used it may have offended you.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean that what I was pushing, or my agenda that I was pushing across, was not still the same.
Well,
again,
I get that part.
His excuse has been that, and I've heard him, his excuse has been that at that time he was angry, and that he was in a dark space. Right. So now here comes a further problem. Us being theologians and understanding certain things, the church is not meant for that. It is meant for teaching and learning.
Well, it's meant to, in my opinion, it's meant to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, to call to compel men to come into the kingdom of God. And I believe that it should be preached in a way where whosoever will can come, and that gospel can be preached to everybody, and everybody can come on in, and we'll allow the Holy Spirit to work in the lives of people as he chooses to do, to will, and to do. Now, I think where Earl Carter made his mistake, and I said this, Gerald, he made his mistake when he used very harsh language, and you know what I'm talking about, the bleeding from the behind and all of that other stuff. That was that's what got him into trouble.
See, there's a bigger issue with me with that. And this being from a married, same gender loving standpoint, none of that bothers me. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what bothers me. What bothers me is the simple fact that he used the excuse that he was angry. If you're going to feed the flock, you cannot speak angrily into God's and use the Holy Spirit. You said God gave you. Now we know, I've done trial sermons before. Okay. I'm not a preacher. People have said I was a preacher, but I'm not. I don't want to be in the pulpit. The reason why is because I understand the sacred pulpit. You are under scrutiny, and you deal with the Holy Spirit. You're dealing with two different levels. The problem that I have is that you used the fact and said that, well, let me put it this way. Me and you talking, so I'm just doing like this.
Okay.
You do a sermon, right?
Right.
You do your studying, you let the Holy Spirit teach you.
Right.
You don't let your emotions get into it.
Right. Well, Gerald, I agree with you, but this is what we always have to come back to this. God uses a perfect gospel. He uses he uses imperfect people to preach a perfect gospel. That is the dichotomy of preachers and dealing with the church in general, because the gospel in itself is perfect, but these people who are preaching it are imperfect people. So here's the thing, Gerald. I totally get where you're coming from. But you're talking about a man who is 75 years old. He was probably 60 something. Hold on, let me finish. I know what you're thinking. He's 75, Gerald. Gerald, you old. I don't know how old you are, Gerald. You're around my age.
I'm 40. I'm 42. I'll be 42.
I got you beat by over about 10 years.
But I grew up around older people. So
but here's the thing, Gerald. You know how our grandmothers and our granddads talk. You know how they talk. You know how they are when you go to their house and you sit on their well, back in those days it would be plastic furniture. You knew darn well how it was. You knew, even at this age, I don't say nothing to them, and now I got some moderators who might say something to some of their elders and stuff. They be kind of letting them have it a little bit, but
If
me,
you ever let me be a moderator and them elders get out of line, I'm telling you, Marcellus, because I have no problem.
right? But Gerald, here's the thing. I think that part of him. Okay, how do I say this without offending Earl Carter? Because I don't want to offend Earl Carter because I understand his generation and I get where he's coming from. Let me just put it to you, Gerald. It's going to be future generations that are going to have to war with this and bring this to a place to where the other generations can understand. And it's already turned, but right now we're focused on an orangutan because he done threw the whole train off the track. And so other things have sort of taken the central focus. But I will be honest with you, I think the tide is in the favor of love and in the favor of embracing all people. I don't think that the tide is on their side. I really don't, Gerald. I'm being totally honest with you. I just do not believe it. You're not gonna have me in church telling me who I got to hate. You're not gonna have me in church talking about everybody going to hell just because they don't agree with you. I mean, geez, Louise, if you were born in another part of the world, you might be Muslim. You might be somewhere Muslim praying to the east 3 times a day. You understand what I'm saying? It is different.
So we've had this conversation before. You might not remember when we initially had this conversation about me being adopted and my biological mother. You remember that?
Right.
It was a while back. I told you. Yes. Okay. So growing up, I came from this starch, RZUA, Reformed Zion United Apostolic. So I grew up in this starch, VA. I grew up in this. Me and my grandmother, my adopted grandmother, God rest her soul, we always had a debate. And it was debated because of the simple fact they believed at the time, God, I believed in God at the time, but I didn't believe in what she believed. They believed that God was in control of everything. I believed in that. But my question always was, if God was in control, well, you're saying this is allowed. Why in the world would you let my mother be a drug user? Why would you let my mother? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And they had no answers for this. Your tradition has no. Not saying you, but tradition has no answers for real life situations. See, for me, if Earl Carter was to said that to me having the gift of prophetic, me having the gift of seeing, because that's what it really was. The gift of prophetic is really the gift of seeing. So me having the gift of seeing and me knowing, I had an issue with my own sister where I argued and I went in convulsions and crying because my sister damned me to hell.
But do you believe on? But do
so
you believe?
Listen, just hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
Her traditional belief damned me to hell. Not my sister. Her belief. So on one hand, I say give them grace, but on the other hand, crucify the tradition. Even Jesus Christ himself said, you full well holding to the traditions of men, rejecting the word of God. So if you're going to hold on to the traditions, then for you to speak, he showed it. Him speaking in anger showed that it was more so tradition than it was
right
God.
Yes, of course. And you heard me say this on this program, and I've said this a million times, Gerald, and I'm gonna reiterate it right here. We still have to respect the tradition. We may not agree with the tradition, we may not like the tradition, but you have to respect their tradition. There are certain elements of their belief system that you may not hold dear or you may not believe anymore, but you still need to respect their tradition. Now, I'm not saying their tradition is right, but you still got to respect it. Just like you're asking them to respect you and to respect your point of view and where you're coming from, you have to understand that they don't believe what you believe. And I understand that they don't believe what I believe. I'm not asking them to believe what I believe or think like I think. And Gerald, I think a lot of times people get so emotional because you want them to change their belief. Earl Carter's 75. He ain't about to change that.
Marcellus. But if you have been to school, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you have been to school, if you have been to school, there's a difference. You are choosing to hold on to tradition.
Well, yeah, that's
there's
true.
a difference. There's a whole difference.
That's true. Well, hold on. Let me just say this for everybody that's in the chat. Now that's a very true statement that Gerald is making. If you have educated yourself, if you understand binary constructs, if you understand certain theological views, worldviews, etc., I get where you're coming from, Gerald. But now I'm gonna give you a profound statement, and I've said this on the radio a million times. Gerald, it's hard to get somebody to tell the truth about something when their income depends on them perpetuating a lie.
But
you
see,
understand what I just said? Do you get what I just said?
I get what you say, but then my problem is I question your faith.
Don't you understand? A lot of this isn't about faith.
Hold on, stop. Just sit with what I just said. Even educational wise, I question your faith because here's the problem. You gain understanding to solidify what you believe in.
Correct.
So if you're going to go against, if you're going to gain the education to solidify what you believe in or what you question and go against it, then I question your faith.
But listen here, Gerald, let me tell you this, and we're going to move on because I know we're going to have to agree to disagree. Listen to me, Gerald. Seminary is not, they have what they call a deconstruction period, and there's no reconstruction period. That's why a lot of preachers and a lot of people don't like for people to go to seminary, because once you go to seminary and they tear down a lot of the things that you thought were true, it's very hard for you to build up those understandings and build those things back. So understand this. Seminary is there to, should be there. So it depends on the seminary you go to. Let me be very careful. True. Seminary is supposed to be a place where it opens you up to a different face, understanding binary constructs, understanding the theos, and understanding how systematic theology and all of those other types of things. Trust me, Gerald, that's why I don't go there on this channel. I just simply say I understand.
I didn't mean to go there, but
right. But wait a minute, we're gonna walk through this just for a second, because we got some smart people in the chat. Listen to me very carefully, Gerald. You cannot get these preachers and a lot of people in denomination to change the way they think because their income depends on them continuing to perpetrate stuff that they no longer believe or agree with. Do you know how many preachers will tell you behind the scenes stuff that they really believe, but they will go out in the pulpit and preach something totally different, but they'll tell you, Gerald, something else behind the scenes? And do you know how frustrating that is if there's some of those preachers are your friends and you got to go to them and be like, man, why you telling people that? Because you know you don't even believe that no more. But it is a business.
My problem with that is my problem with that is, and this is just me, if you know the truth, and this is wholeheartedly, if you're gonna say and profess Christ and you know the truth,
right?
If Christ would die and his disciples would die for the truth,
right? Well, God's gonna hold them accountable. You should do the same. Yeah, I know, but God's going to hold them accountable, and that's not our job, Gerald. Your job is to love people. Your job is to tell people and share people your testimony about what Christ did in your life, Gerald. Our job is not to police and make these people change their minds about everything that they believe in their tradition. That's not our job. So I know it's frustrating and it gets you mad and it gets you upset, but that's one of the reasons why you have a Mad Church Disease channel, so I can come and bring some level of balance and we can have a really good conversation. Gerald,
I have been steaming since I have been listening about not just this, but even with the side of Horseface, you know who. At the same time, to not defending Earl Carter, but at the same time, to hold balance, Horseface need to shut his mouth too, because you have called people's children's bastards.
Oh yeah.
You have said things, horrible and disparaging things about the presiding bishop and Earl Carter.
But it's so but Gerald, I don't take. Let me tell you, my new Gerald. You got to hear me. Hear me when I tell you what I'm about to tell you. My new perspective, Gerald, is these people are clowns, and when you go to the circus, you looking at these clowns with all of this makeup on and with all of this stuff going on. These are some clowns on a level that you just, Gerald, that you just don't understand. They are clowns. How you gonna be with a full wig on, full fingernails, full makeup, and all of this other stuff, and yet you screaming about the homosexuals?
But how are you gonna ask for? Not even that, Marcel. I don't even deal with all that, because I deal with the heart and the soul of it. Here's my thing. How can you ask for forgiveness? Ask somebody else to ask for forgiveness. But you have not asked for forgiveness for the very same things and the harsher things that you have said. Not saying you, but...
Well, let me ask you a question. Gerald. Do you have an expectation for those people to apologize for those things?
You know what? No, I don't. But what I'm saying, my point is, how can they?
Okay, because but the way you're talking, Gerald, it sounds like you have an expectation for them to say something different. I think your expectation is off, Gerald. I'm gonna give you a good example. When I was out here fighting with Dr. Dingleberry, y'all remember I kept saying, well, I just don't understand why he wouldn't apologize, and he owes me an apology, right? You remember? And my expectation for him apologizing was way crazy, because he's already proven himself to be a liar, and he would have never apologized.
I get what you're saying. I got what you're saying. You're saying, why am I expecting him to not open his mouth?
I have no expectation. I have no expectation on Dr. Earl to change how he believes and thinks. I really don't.
Like I said, me as a same gender, if they want to classify, because I'm married to a man, but for me as a same gender loving married man, him saying the bleeding out the ass, all of that crap did not bother me. More so as who he's leading astray.
Well, but the representation, you're kind of mentioning several things throughout this conversation. But Earl Carter's representation is for the COGIC church. He's representing the COGIC church. He's not, to be honest with you, he's not representing even the world at large. So his viewpoints are to compel men to somewhat think like he thinks. And so
the Christianity viewpoint as a whole is starched like that. That's why.
But you need to change. But Gerald, listen to me very carefully. You need to change your expectation, because I feel like on some level your expectation is to get them to preach or think a certain way, when I'm trying to tell you that is not going to happen. And if your expectation is on them, you're going to be like me, waiting on Dr. Scrotum Sniffer to apologize, and when he ain't gonna never do that, because I'm the one that has the wrong expectation.
So let me do this. My expectation is, I'm gonna be clear what my expectation is.
Okay.
My expectation is for them to be like Christ. You
okay.
Can't preach. Here's the thing.
Well, you breaking up. I don't know where yet. I
preach Christ you and get then still, not girl. Be like him.
You got to get somewhere still, because you freezing up.
Hello.
Yeah, you got to get somewhere where you can get still, because you breaking up. Listen, I'm gonna end it here. I dropped the link for anybody else that wants to come up. Listen here, Gerald. I get what you're saying. Your expectation is for them to be like Christ. Gerald, back to his place. We in a raggedy church. Our church, instead of having 4 wheels, has 3. The church is able to make it down the road, and it's been putt-putting for a long time. The engine, they trying to repair the engine. The oil light is on. The check engine light is on. The tire pressure light is on. But we all still in this car with this institution trying to travel down the road. You listen to me very carefully, girl. Our church is raggedy. We can't even trade our church in for a new one. If you take the church to a used car dealer, don't nobody want this church. Don't nobody want this church. This church got smoke coming out the tailpipe. It's a whole mess. And we're trying to ride in this vehicle with this whole church and reform it from the inside out. Okay. So you have to understand, Gerald, you need to have proper expectations and give it time. Are these things going to happen in our lifetime? Of course not. But we need to stop putting so much pressure on ourselves to get these people to believe and think a certain way. Let them do what they do. Because at the end of the day, it's your job, Gerald, to show the love of God and to show the love of Christ with everybody that you meet, and to be the representation of Christ so that you can change the world and people could see a better representation of Christ. What I'm trying to do on this channel is to tell everybody that Jesus plus nothing equals everything. I know y'all think my slogan is just a slogan, but it really is to get you to think, Gerald, Jesus plus nothing is everything. You have everything, Gerald. And here's the funny thing. A lot of these people, they think they got Jesus and they don't even have him. They don't even have everything, Gerald. That's the thing. Hey, Jesse, you up? I got you. Just unmute yourself and go.
This conversation is actually pushing me more. You have the book that I'm writing, so you know why I'm coming from this point of view.
Absolutely. I got you.
But I'm going to digress. Oh, and with Marvin, all I was going to say is he's showing again what I'm saying is that you're going to double down knowing that you hurt folks.
Yeah.
Like you're showing a bad look and a bad representation of Christ.
Marvin Winans is stunning on you.
Not Marvin Winans, that's Marvin Sapp.
I'm sorry, they all love it.
We're not even talking about Marvin Winans and his 20-year life. We're not dealing with him.
Now, wait a minute. Y'all didn't even see the picture of Marvin Sapp when he debuted the song. He was in Dolce and Gabbana. He tried to tell you he's stunning on you niggas. I'm just saying.
Marcellus, don't tell nobody, but I don't know none of them Marvin Sapp songs. Oops.
Yeah, well, a lot of people. I talked to some people this week that said they don't listen to his music either, so they didn't know.
Oops, my bad. I ain't mean to say that.
Yeah, it is. You're not the only one.
I'll let Jesse go ahead.
What's up, Jesse? Good to see you.
Well, I only can you hear me well?
I can hear you excellently.
Okay, praise God. So first of all, Marvin Sapp, I ain't listened to him since he came out with Perfect Peace. Because once he crossed over, I ain't had nothing to do with him no more. But you know, to each his own. But okay, so Gerald was talking about the church and some of the behaviors, a lot of the bigotry that goes on in the church and respectability, politics, and all of that. I sort of disagree with Gerald with his viewpoint, and I'm also openly gay. I just don't see the purpose. Well, I don't know. I find it hard sometimes. Why do gay people feel the need to always kind of double down on people that they know are known bigots? You don't have to go there. You don't have to go and listen to that. I wish more gay people would actually, start opening up their own churches and houses of worship or whatever you want to call it, instead of trying to get validation from those people. Because people like William McCray, I don't understand how in the world he sits under that and listens to that and deals with all of that disrespect. Those people disrespect him openly, and I feel like a lot of times the way he is, the way he acts, acts out like that is because he's been so jaded and disrespected. I just don't see how he sits there and deals with it. And I just wanted to add my little 2 cents in there. I didn't really have like a lot to say, but
Jesse, I think you make a valid point. I think the point is when you're dealing with the institution, and keep in mind, you all, this is an institution. And what you have to understand is institutions are ingrained into the fabric of some people's psyche, thinking, society, etc. It is woven through everything, through the tapestry of everything. So in order for you to be able to get people to understand the truth or understand the love of God in a greater dimension and level, first of all, they've got to experience it. Number two, they have to see God or see Jesus in a way that they've never seen him before. Now, understand something.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the pictures that have been painted for us in church about who Jesus and God is, somebody else painted those pictures for us. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody painted the picture for you. But the moment that you have a personal relationship with God that is intimate to you, you start to see God in a way that you've never seen him before. And it will not allow you to hook yourself up with anything that is adverse to the God that you have come to understand and to know. Now, the sad part about it is they will use the scripture and say, well, everybody's just trying to do what is right in their own eyes. And what they do not understand is that when God speaks to you and when God deals with you on a greater dimension and greater level, he will pull you. I would have never thought that I would have been outside of the institutional church talking the way that I talk. I would have never thought that. Seriously. So, but I'm serious. I think when you have a personal relationship with God and you pull yourself away from that and you can see the church for what it is. Oh no, I can't be up. I can't be up in that.
And I had to.
Go ahead, Joe.
Can I ask Jesse a question? What part did you not understand? Because I was not coming from the homosexual part at all. Because me and Marcellus have talked before, and I told when Marcellus didn't even know when I told him, but I don't agree with the LGBTQ agenda at all. So I'm trying to figure out what part did you not understand, because I was coming from a theological standpoint of him talking directly, saying I've heard him speak outside of what everybody posted. I went on his post directly and heard him say that he came from the standpoint he was angry, and you say what you say out of anger. What I was saying was that if you're going to speak, and being the fact this is a spiritual and religious practice, if you're going to speak abroad to the majority of those that are believers, you should have taken a step back and not spoken out of anger and not been in flesh. That's what I was coming from.
But I think the train had already, but Gerald, here's the thing. The train had already left that track. Once he preached that message, he couldn't take it back at this point, because it's already out there. And the anger, and lots of preachers preach from anger. I mean, it's all through the scripture. A lot of preachers preach a lot of messages through anger, but I'm not
saying take it back. What I'm saying is so basically, not just him, but several other preachers have been used. Bishop Wooden also have been used as points of how traditional speaking is not working, because even Christ did not go and say be that harsh. That's what I'm coming from, that standpoint. Whether you're talking about homosexuality, whether you're talking about drinking, whether you're talking about abortion, whatever the sin is, it doesn't matter. What I'm coming from the standpoint of is spiritually and theological sound doctrine, that if you're going to call yourself a believer or a follower of Christ, that should not be in us at all.
Gerald, this is a good question for you to answer. Finally, me, Lulu asked, Gerald, what would you like to see be done?
What I would like to see be done is us as a body of people. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he's an example. So is Wooden. He's an example of how not to be in Christ.
Again,
the reason why I'm saying this
again, but Gerald, I'm gonna ask the question again. Pinpoint the answer to my question. What would you like to see done?
a change of traditional thought pattern.
See, but
That's
the
it.
thing, so let's go back to me originally. Okay, so let's get this baseline taken care of right now. Even though I said homosexuality, or let me get this together real quick. So even though I said homosexuality or LGBTQ, we can look at this as a broad statement or a broad spectrum just for the generation in general. It's not just for the gays, it's for everybody. Everybody, it felt obviously too much pressure from, the Pentecostal church. That's why attendance numbers are so low now. So it's not
Mhm.
just the gays, obviously. So
Mhm.
the thing for me is, everybody has left the church, and it seems like to me there's a struggle with certain LGBT members. um it seems like they still go in there. That's the aspect I'm coming from. They still go in there knowing good and doggone well that they're not really accepted. It seems like they cherish it more than anybody. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, I've heard a statement. I think they call it
I see where you
Stockholm.
coming from, Jesse.
But is it Stockholm syndrome? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, it is. But
Yeah, Stockholm.
Christianity is steeped in Stockholm syndrome. Well,
Yeah.
Girl.
American Christianity is
Okay.
steeped in Stockholm syndrome.
Well, let me ask you. Well, see, Gerald, here's where you and I are gonna have issues, and I'm gonna need you to come over and mature past a certain point, and you're gonna have to pray about this, Gerald. Okay, you're gonna have to stop having expectations from people who are not going to give you what you are expecting. Your expectation, Gerald, is in the wrong place, and you got an expectation that is unrealistic. Now, that's kind of harsh for me to
Marcel,
say that,
now
but
Marcellus,
but
I'm gonna push back
okay.
because is a expectation or is reform required? And you may look at an expectation, but is it saying that a reform needs to be changed?
Okay, but listen to me, Gerald. Listen to me. You can This is an institution. You have to understand what you're dealing with.
Hmm.
This is not
I
this
understand that, but
okay,
does
okay, but
because it's
understand. Okay, understand this, Gerald. This is going to take time. It is going to take people like yourself and people coming and talking to the institution and getting the boldness to have these types of conversations. And this is why I have this platform. I want you to be able to be free to talk freely and talk like you want to talk. But I need for you to understand, stop having an expectation for these people to turn the tradition around so quickly. It's just not going to happen because this is
And
so
can I
go ahead.
add something
Hang on,
here?
Gerald. Hang on, Gerald. Go ahead, Jesse.
And okay, Gerald, I just, I'm saying this as nice as possible, but I'm just keeping it real because I am real. To me, the way that you're approaching wanting to have change with these people, that was kind of my point. It seems to me that you're a little bit on the extreme spectrum. You can't make a grown adult do anything or stop saying anything really. So, you have to approach it. That's just how it feels because I don't know
I'm not
but
saying. I said
let me finish my
he.
point. Let me finish my point. It just feels that it's a little bit extreme. So you sometimes I feel like Marcellus is just trying to say you have to look at alternative ways of thinking or coming to the board and looking at negotiations or looking at ways to settle in the middle sometimes because these people, those older saints, they're not trying to change up. They think they're in the right. It's like arguing with the brick wall with a lot of them. And with you coming at the other side of the spectrum, like you got to change, that's not going to help you. It's going to turn into violence at some point.
Now,
So
So
now I'm gonna come. I'm gonna
pinpointing.
come to you, Gerald. Give me 1 second. Sean talks. I just want to let you know I'm coming to you in just a second. Go ahead and finish your thought, Gerald, and then we're gonna go to Sean.
So pinpointing or having a conversation should
Mhm.
not be had. That's I mean,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
me
No.
pointing something.
Nobody said
No,
that, Gerald.
no,
Now, wait a
that's
minute.
all I'm doing is pointing it out.
I
So
get that,
pinpointing something.
but I want you to understand. No one is saying that the conversation can't be pinpointed and a conversation cannot be had. What I'm saying to you, Gerald, as somebody that I know, you watch this channel, you're around this channel, you understand how I think and how I move, trying to progressively move the conversations forward. Gerald, I need you to understand that it is an unrealistic expectation for you to be having an expectation for the church to change or somebody Earl Carter's age at 75 years old to change in a way that's going to change his theology, his belief, and so forth, when he's in an institution where that type of thinking is applauded, that type of thinking is supported financially, that type of thinking allows him to go on speaking engagements, trips, etc., etc. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Now I'm gonna shift to Sean. Sean, you have the floor. What are your thoughts?
My goodness. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
So Gerald, is it Gerald? Yeah,
Gerald. Mm-hmm.
Gerald. Okay. So unfortunately, what you're looking for as far as change with the traditions, that's not going to happen. The change that's going to happen is only going to get worse as social media progresses. It's going to get worse.
You think so, Sean?
I think a lot of it is because now you have to think 70s, 80s, there was no social media. So, yes, there were still gay people in church, but you can kind of hide behind it per se from your outside people. Yeah, the people in the church knew, but outside people did not know exactly what was going on. As social media progressed, now you can see all of the quote unquote homosexuals that's in the church and leading this and doing that and doing this. Now they have to say face like, okay, now what? And because it's become a big deal now, preachers are changing. That's why there are still gay musicians. That's why there's still gay this, gay that, that's in the church, because they know without us, we are the most, and nothing towards straight people, but there are probably more gay people that attend church than straight people.
Probably at this time. I would probably agree on that one.
Like, honestly. So when he said what he said, did he mean what he said? Absolutely. We really don't know if something happened before then that made him speak in that tone.
Right.
Not that he wasn't going to say that. It's the way that he said it that got everybody riled up. Because it's not the first time hearing that from him or nobody else.
Right. Absolutely.
It's the tone in which it was said that pissed everybody off.
Yeah.
His apology was for how he said it.
Yeah.
Not what he said.
Right. The embellishments, I think the embellishments more so are what got people so upset, because like I said to people all week long and over these last couple of days, this ain't nothing that we ain't never heard in the institutional church for all the years we've been going. Now, it was a little bit more harsh. And I think because of his preaching style and how he preached, it shocked everybody. And everybody was like, oh my God, this guy's doing this crazy stuff. Go ahead, Gerald. I'm coming to you. And so it was a little harsh. Go ahead, Gerald.
So let's do this. Let's take homosexuality off the table. I'm doing it for a reason. Let's put a pastor or somebody, an elder, bishop, whoever, uses the words saying that somebody had a child out of wedlock and said bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Again, what I'm saying, that the terminology and the harshness of it, like I'm saying, if we're going to compel people to Christ,
right,
the harshness of it is what I've been going about the whole time. Because the harshness also is a theology and a mindset behind it.
Correct.
Also, there's a certain way of thinking. There is a psychosis of it.
Yes. So let me ask
that's
you. But the psychology of it, the harshness of it, that comes from an entrenched belief and an understanding from the individual who is preaching the message, Gerald. In order for the person to get up off of the harshness of the message, God has to change the person's heart who's actually preaching the message. So what you have to understand, and this is why I keep reiterating this point to you, and I'm going to keep reiterating it until this darn program go off, your expectation needs to be elevated and needs to be matured to the point to where you understand you don't need to be asking for something from a group of people who are not going to give you what you are asking and until they're able to change the way that they're thinking, and you can hear it and receive it and hear it in love and in a Christ-centered manner. You don't need to be having the expectation on them that they're going to do that. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but you said a key point in what you just said. My expectation is exactly what you said. A Christ-centered matter.
Oh, I heard you correct. I heard you correct.
Can I interject and ask Gerald a question? Did you watch Earl Carter at Greater Emmanuel?
Yes. Are you asking me or Gerald?
Gerald.
Okay.
Yes, I watched that one, and I watched his actual podcast.
Hold on. Let's one step at a time. You watched him Sunday, right?
Yes.
He preached the same thing pretty much that he did in 2014, correct?
Correct.
But his delivery was different. You understand what I'm saying? There was no big talk about what he talked about. The big talk was him being in the presiding bishop's pulpit.
So you brought that up.
Hold on, wait. Had he preached Sunday like he did in 2014, we wouldn't even be talking about this apology.
Correct. I agree with that statement.
But see, she brought something up.
You asked for change.
You compared the two.
Huh?
You compared the two, right?
Yes.
You compared the two.
That's why I said I listened to what he said on his podcast, what he said in Greater Emmanuel, and the sermon. I listened to all that. That's why I'm dealing with the psychology of it and not what he said. Because I said from the Marcellus, quote me, go back, timestamp it. But I always said, I am not worried about what he said far as homosexuality.
Right. You're saying that you're talking about the theology of it, how it was preached. It didn't come from a place of love. I heard you very clearly, Gerald. And I'm going to just say it to you the best way I know how.
My problem is that if we're going to present Christ, our psychology needs to change than what it is.
But see, I'm going to agree with St. James. Gerald, we get it. We do get it. We get what you're saying. We totally get what you're saying. I don't believe that you get what I'm saying. And that's the part
Gerald wants to be mad, I think. Because you asked for change, he changed, and it's still a problem.
Yeah. Gerald, let me tell you something. And you can talk to me offline, Gerald. I'll be more than happy to take your call. You can even call me because I'll talk to you. Let me tell you something, Gerald. You're not going to move me from my position that you need to change your expectation. Because even though you're dealing with the theology, but the theology that you're expecting to change is based upon someone else's delivery and someone else's change in mindset and being able to deliver the words that they're delivering. That's an expectation on your part. And what I'm trying to get you to see, Gerald, is that when you have an expectation from others to do a certain thing, you're going to be let down every time. And that's going to be heart-wrenching. It's going to be heartbreaking for you because you're looking for validation in the person doing a specific thing or changing or saying a certain thing theologically. And that is the problem that I'm having, Gerald. And I think I'm communicating this very well. Now, you may not necessarily agree with what I'm saying, but I think, and I use myself as an example with Dr. Scrotum Sniffer. I told you that my expectation of him doing something for me and saying something to me in a certain way was never going to happen because I had a wrong expectation. My expectation for him landing on him and having him to do a certain thing, or even the church at large, Gerald, to do a certain thing in order to make you feel a certain type of way, whether it's acceptance, whether you, because see, that's the whole thing too. You know, you have to change your expectation. Now I'm gonna wait before y'all say anything else. I need to take a breather just right here because I've been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Let me do this and then we'll come back. We'll do our final comments and we are out of here. Don't go nowhere. Nobody. Y'all stay right there.
Authentic, committed.
Wrong commercial. Y'all pray. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family, where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for tuning into the Mad Church Disease channel. Please make sure that you hit the like button. You listen to me, Lynn Pearson. I love this conversation. And I don't know where Gerald went. Where the hell did Gerald go? Well, I was going to give everybody their final thoughts because we're going to definitely have to move. I'm going to start with Sean. Sean, because I know you were a little late coming up. So I'm going to start with you, Sean. Final thoughts on any of the topics, whatever you want to say. The floor is yours.
Marvin Sapp is really like, he playing, he using it, he gonna make money off of it. That's pretty much that. Like, this is making Marvin Sapp pretty much bigger than he's ever been. As far as Earl Carter, when it's tradition, they think they right, they not gonna change. And he changed his delivery. Hey, is he gonna change his look on it? Absolutely not. That's not gonna happen.
Well, his delivery to me is like when a person says, oh, I used to smoke a whole pack of cigarettes a day, but now I'm down to 2 cigarettes a day. You understand what I'm saying? You still smoking, but now you're down to 2. That's progress, right? It's some progress.
It's something.
It's something. So I look at what Earl Carter did. It's something.
And William, I don't have any sympathy for, because he talked about that young lady with that skirt on like a bald-headed dog.
Yeah.
And didn't care, and said he wasn't apologizing. He didn't care about her family, her kids, or nothing.
Yeah.
So now you want sympathy and people to think about your parents and how you felt. Like, you can't do one and then expect sympathy and become the victim. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I agree. I agree. I have no sympathy for him at all. So yeah, you ain't gonna get no sympathy over here for me. Gerald said he don't know what happened. All right, Gerald, you need to fix it. You over there with that Boost Mobile connection. I don't know what's going on over there. Because I wanted to hear your final thoughts. Jesse, give me your final thoughts. And thank you guys, Sean and Jesse, for coming up and talking to me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank y'all for not being scared. Because as y'all can see, I just have regular conversations and we just talk. And I try to give you guys free reign to say what you got to say. So, Jesse, what's your final thoughts? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna keep it short and simple, okay? So look, Gerald kept bringing up Christ-centered rhetoric or whatnot. You got to keep in mind people's viewpoint on Christ. What you view as Christ is something totally different, obviously, than what William McCray views as Christ, Marvin Sapp views as Christ, and definitely what Earl Carter views as Christ.
Absolutely.
So that's all I gotta say.
And I think that point is so valid because I was going to talk about that, but I said I'm going to leave that alone because these white evangelicals in America, they have a totally different view of Christ. Their idea of Jesus Christ is not my idea of Jesus. I don't serve the same Jesus that these people serve.
And the hood is off.
I just don't. I'm being totally honest. They do not serve the same Jesus as me. Franklin Graham doesn't. The Southern Baptists don't. I don't know what kind of Jesus these people serve, but that's just me. I'm sorry. I'm going to go down on tangent.
And that's sure enough. Right on.
I don't serve the same Jesus. I'm sorry, but I appreciate you, Jesse. Thank you so much. You had completely valid points. All of you guys did. Gerald, of course. Sean, thank you so very much for coming up. I really do appreciate it. Y'all done got me to come back. I did 2 hours and 26 minutes, almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. So y'all know I'm about to go sit down somewhere. I appreciate you. I still need 4 of you to do $10. So if you're watching this repeat, if you could be one of those 4 people, I'd really appreciate it. Thank y'all so very much. Y'all go enjoy the rest of your night as I am about to do so. Hit the like button. And it is what it is. Dr. Scrotum Sniffer, if you're so rich, bitch, why are you trying to get all of these loans? I mean, it's a question, and it's a legitimate question. But oh well, you the rich bitch. That's all I'm saying. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. Please make sure that you hit the like button and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell icon and make sure you press all notifications so that way you will never miss any of the exclusive content that comes on my channel. Make sure that you never miss a video. Now, I try to go live every day about 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then I come back at night at around 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 10:30 Eastern Standard, with some more exclusive content. So if you want more Mad Church Disease show content, we'd love for you to become a member, a revolutionary member of our channel. Please make sure that you hit the join button that's right next to the subscribe button or somewhere around here so that you guys can receive access to special community posts. You guys get all of the access to my community only lives because we've got some sipping chats that we're going to be doing, and you guys will get exclusive content. So just make sure that you head on over to the channel page, click on the join button, and make sure that you do that. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you on my very next video.
We are Mad Church Disease, helping you understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. This is a show for everyone, believers and non-believers, from churched to the unchurched. Help us grow the channel by supporting our non-profit causes and create more consistent content. Donate by Cash App or PayPal, or buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com.